Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Virgo energy, and like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Virgo energy, and the bottom row is going to be a more worldly or shadowy when we get caught up in our fear or insecurity. Some people could be struggling within themselves because to move forward in life differently and let go of some old ways of being can be kind of scary, and we like to stay in our comfort zone. But for other people, they've definitely decided they're done with an old way of living their life or viewing life or thinking about life and different types of relationships. They've seen some type of truth and they have no interest in repeating an old pattern. And those people are definitely harnessing some high vibe Virgo energy, having hope and faith and belief in their dreams, have gone within to learn the lessons they were meant to learn from life experiences, and they're ready to move forward. And there's other people in the world who definitely aren't planning on doing that anytime soon, and they might. Our shadow nature can be our more worldly nature, where people are more consumed with money and materialism. And it's kind of interesting because the reason for the reading for the high vibe is the Queen of Pentacles, and the reason for the reading on the bottom row is the King of Pentacles. The way I read tarot is we all take action in the world in masculine energy because we can present ourselves any way we want, and people don't know the truth of who we really are emotionally. And so that in that regard, sometimes I believe that, and the way I read it, is that when there is a masculine energy card, especially in shadow, it can be people who are operating more from their ego, their fear, their insecurity, their more immature, indulgent nature, instead of their more emotionally mature nature. So, some people could be struggling within themselves. Should I be willing to get out of my ego and learn the lesson I was meant to learn? And part of that lesson would be in high vibe Queen of Pentacles, to know my worth and value, to love myself, because in our worldly nature, we can kind of define our worth and value based more on the type of job we have, if we're in a relationship, if we're married, if we have status or image or power, or what we wear, or what we own, or how we look. We're so much more than that. That's so superficial, I mean, we all want stability and security, and we'd all like the finer things in life. But, what really makes us who we are in the world and what helps us have deep, meaningful relationships with people is when we're connected in with ourselves emotionally. And then we can be an emotionally intelligent, employee and supervisor and business owner and partner. If we keep aligning with our more worldly nature, and that's what drives us, get in relationships because our fear and our insecurity or our codependency or for status or image, it's probably not going to turn out the way we think, because when we make decisions out of our more worldly nature, our worldly nature is represented by the devil, and the devil pops up in our life when we have lessons to learn. And if we make decisions more out of pride or ego or fear or insecurity, it's probably not going to turn out the way we think. And we're going to feel like the Seven of Swords, that we were deceived or manipulated. And part of that in the Seven of Swords talks about being unwilling to see the truth. If we love ourselves and we align with the Two of Cups and the Ace of Wands, if we decide to invest in aligning with our more loving, intuitive nature, I am not going to make decisions out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego. I am going to be inspired to emotionally invest in dealing with my regrets of the past in the Five of Cups. I'm going to put in work and effort to heal from that. And the truth sets us free so that we can go live our life differently. We have to be willing to see the truth. Some relationships didn't work out in our past. How did we contribute to those relationships not working out? Are we willing to see the truth about the people who we wished relationships would have worked out? Because we can sit staying focused on the past And we could be a high vibe person. We're loving, we're nurturing, we're supportive, we're intuitive. But how long are we going to sit emotionally focused on a past relationship with someone who's not working together with us in a relationship? You know, we've got to see the truth. Sometimes those people are already in a nurturing, loving relationship. Sometimes we can meet people, we don't know they're in a relationship. Sometimes we had been in a relationship with someone, it didn't work out, we moved on, and then we did whatever we did, that didn't work out, and then we're kind of looking back at someone from our past again, thinking, shoot, I made a mistake. You know, I could have had to go off and learn some lessons in life. And then we could make someone from our past an offer, and maybe they're already, you know, invested in someone else. And we need to see the truth. Sometimes we got in relationships with people, and the other people weren't willing to deal with their past pain and heartbreak and their regrets of the past and their self-limiting beliefs. Or they haven't learned to love themselves, so they'll turn their back on other people, even if those people are loving and nurturing. It's like, nope, in order to be in a relationship with you, I'd have to deal with these issues, and I don't want to deal with these issues. So they're going to repeat a pattern of the past, maybe go down into shadow. Let's see what this card is. Magician. The Magician is Gemini Virgo energy. Some people don't have hope and faith and belief in love. Some people don't think they're emotionally mature enough to be in an emotionally mature relationship. Some people have, you know, the Magician can talk about, well, when it's not showing itself, I guess a lot of that I would interpret as the people that are still focused on the past and they haven't dealt with it, they're just people who aren't investing emotionally in like believing in themselves, and they keep letting the relationships of their past that didn't work out still manipulate them. Like, because those people weren't just or fair or loving or nurturing or supportive, I let those people and those life situations manipulate me. But I don't show people that. When the card's not showing itself, it can be people aren't showing that they're manipulated by their own fear, their own insecurity, their past pain and heartbreak. You know, and we can wish other people would deal with their issues, but everybody is willing to deal with their issues when they're willing to deal with their issues. And we have to wish them peace. That would be high vibe energy. You know what? I wish you peace. I wish, you know, I tried to be loving and encouraging and supportive. And we can be loving and encouraging and supportive to people, and they still don't make the free will choice to deal with their own issues to be able to move forward with you. And eventually, you know, we can kind of feel manipulated in a relationship. You know, if I'm being loving and encouraging and supportive, but you never do the work to deal with your own issues, well, then it's me being loving and encouraging, and you just not putting in the same work and effort to heal. Some people just kind of want to indulge in a relationship where other people are loving and encouraging and supportive, and they want to stay in it, being sad, being focused on the past. And, you know, you can't have your dreams come into reality with someone who isn't doing the work to heal, who isn't doing the work to get out of the past, to like live in the present. You know, the present moment's a gift, like they say, you know. But some people aren't willing to tap in. You know, Virgo energy is about putting in work and effort. And so is Taurus energy about putting in work and effort. And again, you could have been in relationships with people where in their Taurus energy, this is their philosophy of life. No, relationships haven't worked out in the past. I want to maybe be in relationships with loving, nurturing people, but I don't plan to put in any work and effort to emotionally heal or grow or mature myself. This is how I view life. So whatever other people are enslaved and imprisoned by, because again, our shadow energy is kind of represented by the devil, and those things can get a hold of us, and it's really hard to break free of them. And the longer we indulge in them, just like abusing alcohol or drugs, it really can run our life completely in the ditch. And whatever they're enslaved and imprisoned by, we end up becoming enslaved and imprisoned by. And some people realized, this relationship, they're not working together with me cooperatively in a loving relationship. If they would, we probably could look to the future and work together from a foundation of love. But if they're still focused on all the things in their past that didn't work out, or people in their life who rejected them, and maybe they're people who haven't learned to emotionally love themselves, and if other people in their past, they're more focused on the people in life who reject them than the people who love them, chasing after the people who choose not to be loving. And sometimes we can all kind of be in that habit, where we can be a loving person, but we can reject other loving people in our life because that's weird. That's not my norm. I'm used to kind of going after the people who reject me, like chasing them. Oh, I'm going to love them, and I'm going to make them love and believe in themselves, and I'm going to make them choose love. And then we have people in our life who are loving and nurturing, who would treat us the way we treat others. And it's like, this is different. I'm not used to that. I'm used to people disappointing me. And part of it then is because we haven't learned to love ourselves, to believe that we deserve to be in mutually loving relationships. And some of you could have learned that lesson that, oh my gosh, if I don't want to keep investing in people where I'm not getting a just and fair and balanced relationship, I've got to heal from my own past pain and heartbreak, my own self-limiting beliefs, because otherwise I get manipulated in relationships and they don't turn out the way I want, and I end up feeling deceived. Sometimes some people, because you are an emotionally loving, like nurturing person, and they don't love and believe in themselves, some of those people turn their back on you and go align with other people in their life or go get in a different relationship. So you will be sad because then you're in the same energy they are. And they hope that you'll give up your dreams and then that you will be that loving, nurturing person and invest back in a relationship with them because they did something that made you sad and you gave up in believing in your dreams, and you'll be a loving, nurturing person who is being deceived by someone who's stressed about dealing with their own fears and insecurities to see the truth and look at life from a higher perspective. But because they don't, and they have stress about believing in their dreams and stressed about looking at life from a higher perspective, they might want to be in a relationship with people, but they want to do it in this old way. Let's not change. Let's not heal. Let's not invest time and energy and effort to look at life from a higher perspective. And maybe if I do something hurtful, because you love me, I will use the love that you have for me to try to confuse you about the truth. And I might be really up in my head about it, that I'm trying to manipulate someone, but I don't want to have to grow and mature myself. There's some people in the world In the King of Pentacles, they could be people who have money or status or image or power or think they're attractive. And they think people should give up their dreams and kind of indulge them in a relationship. That could be how they view relationships. Everybody can view a relationship of their ideal relationship whatever way they want. And they're kind of immature. And they invest in maybe living more from their mind than their heart. And they don't want to see the truth. That maybe they try to manipulate people. Mentally strategizing, living from their mind. I don't want to do love. I'd have to see some truths and deal with some truths that I don't want to deal with. One of them might be, I might be fearful and insecure. I might try be manipulative and I don't want to see the truth. I might think because I have money and status and image or whatever, that people will give up on their dreams and kind of indulge my more immature nature. I like to present myself as a high vibe person, like I'm stable and grounded and, you know, mature, but really, I'm really kind of maybe emotionally immature. I might look, person can have money, person can be good looking, person can be charming, blah, 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 but they can still be emotionally immature. And they can still be someone who thinks, you know, I don't think I have to grow and mature myself. I don't think I have to deal with my past pain and heartbreak. I don't think I have to look at life from a higher perspective or see the truth. I have these things of the world. I bet there's other people that will also want to deceive themselves about the truth because they're fearful if they'll get in another relationship or find an equally comparable job, if it's a job. And I bet they'll give up their dreams to indulge me in my more immature way of being. Some of you dealt with people who are like that. Some people are in the midst of being in a relationship with some people who are like that. And I think the people who have already gotten themselves out of relationships like that saw through the illusion. Because the magician in shadowy Gemini Virgo energy is, my long-term goal is to not do love. I get hurt doing that. And I might not want to be just and fair. I might not want to act with character and integrity. I might not want to have to self-discipline myself. I live more from my mind, and I think I can use my mind and the things of the world, and my things of the world, my charm, my charisma, my money, my looks, my sexuality, to get what I want. I don't think I have to do love. I don't think I have to be just and fair. I think I can manipulate people to do things my way. And their long-term goal is to be this King of Pentacles, whatever that means to them. I want to be indulged in the world is what the King of Pentacles can mean. I want to operate from my ego, my more emotionally defensive nature in a relationship. I want someone who's emotionally nurturing and loving to be my marriage partner, them staying in high vibe energy. I don't want them to indulge in being defensive and prideful and egotistical and self-centered and manipulative, but I want to be. Oh God, that's my wonderful idea of a perfect relationship. I get to be shadowy and they stay loving and just and fair and encouraging and warm. Let's see what this card is here. Two of Wands. For some, they're people who gave up on their dreams. They don't think, for some, that if they were to invest in doing what they really love, getting in the career field they really love, being in relationships with people they really love, they don't believe that because they might not tap into their emotions and their intuition to make decisions, and they do live more from their mind, and it's working with the things of the world, you know, they kind of limit themselves to just working with the things of the world. But we have intuition, we have creativity. That's how all these things came into existence since caveman days, you know? None of these things miraculously appeared in the desert. Oh my gosh, here is a chariot. Here is a car. Here is an artwork or a piece of music or a painting or, you know. People listen to their intuition, but there's some people who either don't want to connect in with their emotions because, you know, we're emotionally complex human beings. It can be confusing. And some people don't want to do it. Some people, again, think, you know, I got emotionally invested in people before, and that's what's sad, is some people did listen to their intuition in the past and it didn't work out. And instead of healing, they decided to let go of their dreams, of making their life about being like an emotional, nurturing partner or supportive, encouraging person in the workplace. And they indulged their more immature, worldly nature that said, I'm stressed about love. I don't trust people. I'm afraid, you know, because I could have invested in some other people that I feel were deceptive or manipulative. Well, not everybody in the world is deceptive and manipulative. You know, they could have dealt with people that were self-centered or egotistical. You know, shadow energy can be about, I want to do life the way I know people and how they've done life. Some of these people could know people in their life, maybe their own father, maybe an Aquarius. But other people who they know chose to settle for the things of the world and being in relationships, maybe where they weren't, it maybe wouldn't have been their first choice. Maybe wouldn't have even gotten in that relationship. But if they got in that relationship, it would provide them with the status and the stability and the security or whatever. And for other people to live their life differently, you know, because why aren't these people moving forward in hope and faith and belief and love? Probably because something happened in their life where people could have been in a relationship or a family dynamic where maybe someone kind of indulged someone else who had money, and people could have kind of wondered if it was really about love, but some people don't want to deal with that. And the truth would set them free. And so instead of seeing the truth, I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to deal with the truth. I'm just going to keep doing life like the way I know people who've lived life. But for some reason, having lived and grown up maybe in a family dynamic like that, it makes them fearful of getting in a relationship. Either because it was a relationship that people were sad. Maybe people didn't work cooperatively together in the relationship, but by worldly standards, with the Aquarius star card and the King of Pentacles, by worldly standards, it looked like they had it all. That's just some of the ideas that are coming to me here. But in order to not want to keep repeating an old pattern where maybe we're dealing with people who are kind of immature, people who've given up on their dreams, people have a lot of fear and insecurity about trusting other people who might be egotistical and self-centered, might not think there's any other purpose for being on this planet than what the world says the game of life is about. All it is to have the status, have the image, have the money. Whoever's willing to do it with me, that's who I'll be in a relationship with. If anybody wants to be inspired to not keep working emotionally like with the past, to be free of that, to listen to your intuition, to follow your creativity, to let love guide your decisions, and step out of your comfort zone to go live life differently, it'd be like, eek, I don't dare do that. I'd have to maybe be more stable and grounded than I am. I don't know if I'll have the status or the image or the money. And for some people, that's really important to them. Really afraid of not looking like a shining star in the world, you know? Virgo energy is kind of about, am I willing to go within to deal with the things I prefer not to look at, about myself, about other people in my life, about the world? Why aren't I bold and brave and confident in my life to live my authentic life? High vibe energy is about being free. High vibe Virgo is about being a spiritual leader in the world, where you maybe try to inspire other people and maybe communicate to the world that your past pain and heartbreak stops you from manifesting your dreams into reality. Virgo goes within to see the truth. Virgo doesn't go in there with a knife and a mallet and, a machine gun. It's to go in there shedding light and love and compassion on the things we didn't know, the things we didn't even know were out there in the world. Sometimes it's just that we're kind of naive and gullible, and we got to learn these lessons in life that some people aren't who they say they are. A lot of people in the world try to present themselves as a high vibe person, like they're on the same page as you. I'm not selfish, I'm not greedy, I'm not prideful, I'm not egotistical, I'm over my past pain and heartbreak. And they haven't done any of that, And then it's not until the other people that they're in relationship with had that kind of hopeful, believing nature to heal from some of their past pain and heartbreak and their fears and insecurities, to look at life from a higher perspective, to grow and mature themselves and give themselves the things that they wish people in their past had given them. Because we're not little children anymore, wishing other people were the answer to all of our problems like we maybe did when we were young. We're supposed to emotionally grow and mature ourselves to be like our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. And we have to heal from that past pain and heartbreak. Otherwise, we will be drawn and attracted, I think, subconsciously, to try to get people who remind us of people in our past who we loved, that maybe live more from their mind than their heart, who maybe were kind of immature, who we looked up to and admired and we looked to for stability and security, but maybe they had a lot of fear about being more vulnerable or loving in the world, maybe had a lot of stress and anxiety in their life or something, who hadn't freed themselves to look at life from a higher perspective. And maybe some of them could have been self-centered. Some of them could have been kind of deceptive or manipulative in relationship with us. If we don't do the work to heal from that, I think subconsciously, because the truth sets us free. So if we're not willing to see the truth that there are some things from my past that bothered me, and we're all fallible human beings, and the more we live life and we grow up, especially if you have children, that's when you can kind of see yourself and see what a wretched human being you can be if you don't get a hold of yourself and deal with some of this past shit, and some people aren't willing to see the truth, and they can reject loving people, and I think those people will be drawn and attracted whether they want to or not. It's kind of funny, right? The people who are like, no, I listened to my intuition before, I love someone, it didn't work out, I was left sad, that's it, I'm not listening to my intuition anymore, even though my intuition is telling me these people are loving, these people are mature, these people aren't like those other people. No, I get hurt doing that. So then they think they know better. They're not going to get hurt. They're going to live more from their mind than their heart. They're going to make their life more about money and materialism. I think in that case, they're hurting themselves every day. But what they don't realize, I don't think, is because they haven't healed and they weren't willing to do the work to heal. and accept love from other people, they are, I think, going to find themselves drawn and attracted to the very type of people who could have been people from that remind them of people of their past who also had lessons to learn, who could have been kind of immature, who had fear of looking at life from a higher perspective and being, and they think I've got it made, and I think they're going to find out that it's going to cause them a lot of stress and anxiety because they're repeating an old pattern of relationship. We either grow up from those relationships and we quit being immature and impulsive, or in our addictions or whatever, and we let those ways of being go and we grow and mature ourselves, or we keep repeating it. And I just don't think it's going to turn out the way they think it's going to. So you could have some people in your life, whether that's adult children, friends, family, people you would like to have been in a romantic relationship. And if they turn their back on you, we can't let people who aren't being just and fair and open and honest and loving, which is the free will choice they had, and if they chose, no, I'm going to turn my back on you, we've got to see the truth. They obviously don't want to manifest an emotionally nurturing relationship where people act with character and integrity. Or they got a lot of issues they need to deal with. And when people don't choose justice and fairness and love, that is, regardless of what their issue is kind of like negative energy in the world, because all we're doing is playing out the battle between life-giving energy, kind of represented by God, and shadowy energy represented by the devil. Not to say you're God and people you know are the devil. It's just the battle of light and dark in the world. And we're either aligned with truth and love and justice and fairness, or we're kind of being manipulated by our fear, our insecurity, our immaturity, our lust, our greed, our self-centeredness. And we can't let people who are negative energy manipulate us, just like we want to let other shadowy energy in the world manipulate us and stop us from investing and believing in our dreams. It's just that we can't manifest that dream with them, at least not right now. So we keep putting in work and effort to heal from that past pain and heartbreak. We encourage other people in our life who we think are to love and believe in themselves, so they're not manipulated by their pride and their ego and their lust and their greed and their mind and their fear, to know their worth and value emotionally, to invest in believing in their dreams. But everybody's got free will, and some people will come with, some people won't. For some of you, as you've moved forward and done this work, there's going to be other people in the world who want to offer you a new beginning because they see you're aligned with love and balance, and you're not acting out of pettiness and jealousy and ego and revenge and pride and ego. And they're like, oh my gosh. For some of you, there's people in your life that you could have rejected when you didn't choose to be in relationship with them because you had your own lessons to learn, and you could have gotten in relationships with other people. And some of those people could be sad that you weren't willing to be in a relationship with them, or some of those people you were in a relationship and then you got out of that relationship, or they got out of the relationship with you because people had lessons to learn. The whole thing is, the difference between people that, our friends and our family and our siblings and stuff like that, we want everybody. We need more emotionally mature, healed people in the world. And we can extend more grace to the people that we have platonic relationships with, but we want everybody to heal and grow and mature themselves, to quit being deceived by their fear and their insecurity. And we need less people going around kind of deceiving and manipulating other people out of their pride and ego. The people that we would be willing to get back in a relationship with, would be the people who we always did view as like a loving, nurturing person. It's just that for some reason, things didn't work out. Wrong place, wrong time, different things going on in people's lives. The people that we wouldn't want, we wish them the best, but we won't want to be in a relationship with, is if, there's a great disparity between people's maturity level. And the people that we've seen the truth that they are, when a card also isn't showing itself, it can be that they don't want people to know that they might harness shadowy Aries energy. It doesn't matter what zodiac sun sign they are. We all harness these different traits and characteristics in a high vibe or low vibe way. And there's people in the world that are more about themselves. They're really not into love and taking creative, inspired action. They might be willing to get in a relationship and start in a relationship, but it's more about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. It's just to indulge themselves. That's what the King of Pentacles in shadow would be. I'm more aligned with my worldly nature, my egoic nature, my emotionally defensive nature, me. And I have a lot of stress about believing in my dreams and having hope and faith and belief in other people or in myself. So I want to be in relationships to indulge in them. But if you ever start to work through your fears and insecurities and grow and mature yourself, well then, sorry, I'm going to turn my back to you because you view life differently than me. You do look at life from a higher perspective, and I don't. You do have hope and faith and belief in your dreams and believe that you can manifest your things into reality, and I don't. You might not be manipulative. You try to motivate and inspire people with love, and I don't. I try to use my mind to hide the truth that I might really be just... I'm not willing to deal with my own fears and insecurities. I'm not willing to invest time, energy, and effort to deal with my own fears and insecurities about love. So I'm just going to live a life of illusion. I'm going to present myself as being much more stable, grounded, and mature than I am. And I'm going to try to get someone else to get in a relationship with me. And if they're an emotionally nurturing, loving person who believes in their dream, that relationship's going to end in regret. And I'm going to try to confuse people about the truth of why I didn't move forward and marry that person or stay in a marriage with that person or be a good employee or a good boss. I'm going to try to confuse people about the truth because I want people to keep viewing me as someone who harnesses high vibe Virgo energy, but really I kind of don't take creative inspired action in my life. Two of Wands, the Ace of Wands, I don't do that. I align with my more immature worldly nature. I keep thinking that I can manipulate the system to get what I want without having to take creative inspired action about the past and deal with my regrets of the past. So I think the high vibe people deal with their regrets of the past. They kind of see through the illusion. We can love people and find out they're kind of immature or they're deceptive or they're manipulative. And then we see through the illusion. We can still, I think love is what helps us heal and helps us release the past that, I can accept that they're kind of prideful or egotistical or immature, but I'm not going to keep investing in people who turn their back to me. And I think as you move forward in your life, there's going to be other people who see that you have taken this action, that you aren't manipulated about people in their past, that you have learned lessons from that life experience and you've grown and matured yourself. You know, when we get drawn and attracted to people, we get drawn and attracted to people listening to our intuition because there's lessons. I think it's kind of like being magnetically drawn to people because there's lessons we could learn from those people. We have lessons to learn. Oh, are you kind of naive and gullible? Here's a deceptive, manipulative person. Oh, do you kind of had some lessons to learn living more from your heart than being more grounded and practical? Yeah, we're going to get you in a situation where you're not going to let your heart run your life off into the ditch. You're going to be more grounded and practical next time. You know, I need to invest more time, energy, and effort into getting to know someone, to see and get to know them, to find out what their truth is, and are they as stable and grounded, as mature as they have presented themselves. I'm not going to get caught up in the illusion. I can be loving and encouraging and supportive to people without jumping into trying to manifest a new romantic relationship right away, you know? So I think the high vibe people have been inspired by love to deal with their regrets of the past, to no longer be in illusions about some people in their past, to offer them peace and love. And what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy that they might not see coming? The Eight of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands, because of the Ten of Wands. Well, you've given a lot of thought, I would say, in the Eight of Swords to what is loving, what isn't loving, what do people who act with character and integrity, what kind of action do they take in the world versus people who don't act with character and integrity, who is manipulative and the people I've known in my life and were trying to manipulate me, and who are the people in my life who don't try to manipulate me, who are the people in my life who give a lot of thought to who are motivated and inspired to give a lot of thought to investing in their dreams and moving forward in life, letting love be the reason they get into and invest in things, and who are the people in my life who might want to be in a relationship with me and move forward with me, but they're making that decision because they have fear and insecurity about their dreams coming into reality, so they want to invest in me, or who's overwhelmed, who's afraid that my dreams are going to come into reality, and they're afraid of me investing in someone else, so now they're going to take action to get in a relationship with me. But they're the same person they were before. They're just overwhelmed at the fact that I'm moving on, but they still haven't done any work. And for some of those people, it might be like, you know, I'm sad, I wish you the best, but no, I am not willing to manifest a new beginning with you. You're still in a mental prison. You're still an immature player. Because that's what shadowy Sagittarius of Ten of Wands can be. I've put in a lot of work and effort to get out of my head about you. I've seen the truth. Virgo goes within to see the truth. From the Ten of Wands to the Two of Wands is the difference of the Eight of Wands. I've moved on. I'm no longer in a mental prison and overwhelmed. Sagittarius of the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Wands is I took creative action. I tried to motivate you, inspire you in love. And you know, you turned your back on me. Apparently, you weren't very motivated and inspired by love. You were maybe more about yourself. And you could have let go of a dream with me because you were all about moving forward, making it all about yourself or indulging yourself. All about you in the Two of Wands. But you didn't want me to know that you were all about yourself. And you could have went and made an offer and got in a relationship with someone else, and you were deceived And now you're in a mental prison and you're overwhelmed. And now you think, I'm going to have my dreams come into reality. Now I seem like the better option. Or I'm going to have a new beginning with someone else. And now you want to come back. I've wrapped my brain around this game of life. Well, you were off doing what you were doing. I wrapped my brain around all this. I put in work and effort to heal. I'm no longer in illusions about who you are. I see the truth. You're in a mental prison about love. Your shadowy Sagittarius is like an immature player. You have a lot of things that overwhelm you. And instead of going within to deal with your issues, you just think you'll go get in a new relationship. You know, if you can get in a relationship, that'll provide you the stability and security you need. It might provide you stability and security and a loving, nurturing environment, but you don't use that environment to go within and deal with your issues. It's just like a place for you to rest. I need people who are motivated and inspired to detach from their old ways of being, to invest in their dreams, to drop the baggage, get out of their head, get out of their ego, get out of their fear. And that takes work and effort. That doesn't happen overnight. And I don't know that you've done any of the work, so I've given a lot of thought to the type of people I want to move forward with. And I think you're going to have a new beginning with people in the world who you think harness high vibe Aries energy, not people who hide that they harness shadowy Aries energy. But, you know, what's coming that you don't see? I think you're going to have both types of people coming towards you because we live in a dualistic world where you have free will. So you get choices. I think some people will come towards you hiding. They're hoping they can manipulate you. They hope you're still in a mental prison and overwhelmed about moving forward and believing in your dreams. And other people are going to come towards you and they're fearful that you're still looking back at the past because they want to have a new beginning with you. And the other people want you to keep looking back to the past and repeat a pattern of the past. The other people want you to move forward with them. So you've been given your superpower, which is your intuition. So listen to your intuition about who's being truthful and authentic and bold and brave and has emotionally grown and matured themselves, and who is being deceptive and manipulative. And when they see that you love and believe in yourself, the people who are trying to manipulate you are going to have to go back to where they came from, because that didn't work. And they'll be stressed wondering who they can manipulate next, because they certainly don't want to do the work to grow and mature themselves. So they figure they'll just go find someone else who might be sad that a relationship didn't work out, who might be up in their head worried if they're going to get in a new relationship, and this person will go prey on someone like that and try to get that person to believe that they're a more emotionally mature, insightful, stable, grounded person than they are. What's coming up? Well, I want to get a different deck so all the cards can come out. What's coming up for the people who harness some shadowy Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? Oh, and for those of you who've been doing this work within yourself, you doing this work within yourself to not be manipulated, to go indulge in your fear and your insecurity and your pride and your ego just to feel better, and who actually do this work to wrap your brain around this game of life and love yourself, you'll be able to drop the burden. And you'll no longer, it takes time, but eventually you'll have this new beginning because you did complete a cycle of working through all your thoughts, all the things that kind of overwhelm you to have that new beginning. The other people never complete the cycle, so they never have the clarity, the insight, the inspiration, the lesson, and they keep and repeat the same pattern over and over again. What they don't see coming, the King of Swords, the Hierophant, the Queen of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Cups, because of the Judgment card. Well, for one thing that they don't see coming is that the high vibe people have done the work to see the truth. And they're standing in their truth. And they're taking action in truth. And they're cutting ways of being and ways of thinking and the past and certain past people out of their life. They've called judgment on those people. People, they're holding themselves accountable for their actions, and they're holding other people accountable for their actions. You know, some people know that people are very emotionally nurturing, loving people, and that they really try to encourage other people to love themselves and believe in themselves. And they're like, perfect! I found myself a loving person. I'm going to go see if I can manipulate them. And I know they'll put a lot of work and effort to make this relationship work. And as long as they're putting in work and effort, I can secretly indulge myself in this relationship. Makes me look like a shining star. It's good for my ego and my image and my status. And eventually, the people they get in a relationship with are sad because these people really don't work together with them in an emotionally nurturing, loving way. You know, you can end up feeling like someone's having sex with you and like they're kind of more about their ego and image, and it can take a long time to realize that, believe me. And because some people wear a really good false mask. And you see the truth of their foundation, that their foundation operates from ego. And you see the truth, and you wished them peace. I'm moving on. Because it's in the energy of peace and love. You know, not being in our ego, not being in our anger and all that good stuff. It's like, I've gotten to a place of peace about it. Because I saw the truth. That's, you know, you're kind of immature and you have a lot of growing up to do. And I decided to put in work and effort to love and believe in myself and give myself all the things that I wish you would have given me, because I see the truth that I need to love my hopeful, believing nature, and you weren't loving my more authentic, hopeful, believing nature. And I call judgment on you. And then another thing they might not see coming is that someone might communicate with them that they do want to be in a relationship with them, but the people who might decide they want to be in a relationship with them is those people are kind of intuitive, maybe, which you maybe hadn't seen, that this person is kind of emotionally immature, and there's someone who's used to manipulating people who are like that, and they might get in a relationship with someone who is going to teach them a lesson that they might want to grow up and mature themselves and choose to grow and mature themselves to get in loving relationships. Because if they don't and they keep aligning with their shadowy nature, the people that they're going to be hanging out with in the world are probably kind of shadowy, maybe emotionally cold, stubborn, prideful, materialistic, like to emotionally manipulate people to get what they want. And they see this person has a lot of life lessons to learn. And that's just the kind of person they like to go get in a relationship with. It's like, oh, you had those loving, nurturing people and you didn't get in a relationship with them? Come on over, pumpkin. You're my kind of guy or gal, and I'm going to present myself as being the sweet, innocent person. Like, I'm naive and gullible. But the person they're getting in a relationship with knows how to play this game better than them. And this person's going to feel like a child dealing with some master manipulators. So you could say some people who rejected love, it's kind of like getting in a relationship with the devil. And they get in those relationships, just like we have, because we have some hard lessons to learn about loving ourselves and dealing with our past pain and heartbreak, to quit being in a mental prison and being manipulated by our worldly nature, our lust, or our greed, or our want for our dreams. It's okay to have your dreams. It's okay to enjoy the things of the world. But you're supposed to go enjoy them from a place of love, not in place of love, because you haven't learned to love and believe in yourself and heal. Then you're going to go learn some hard lessons. And some of these people have some hard lessons to learn. And if loving people didn't help them, didn't motivate and inspire them to be willing to invest in working through their fears and insecurities, their shadow nature or their fear or their defensiveness or their ego, couldn't overcome it with love, well, guess who's coming up to bat next? Someone who they're probably going to get married to. Why? It seems to make practical, logical sense. It's good for my ego and my image. I'm sure I can emotionally manipulate this person. And if they do happen to get another loving person, the same thing's going to happen again. But they might get someone who comes into their life to teach them a lesson. And then they're going to have to decide. You know, they thought other people probably should stay in a relationship with them because of their looks or their charm or their money or their status or something. Well, now they're going to get in a relationship. Maybe someone who presents himself as being, oh, so afraid about getting in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And really the person's just manipulating and deceiving them. I want those things of the world that you got. And I don't plan on letting you go nowhere. I will be on you like glue. And they'll have to decide if they like being in a relationship with someone who's kind of like maybe how they act in a relationship. Now they'll maybe know what it's like to have been in a relationship with them. Maybe that will be the light bulb moment. It's like, oh shit, is that how I acted? It's like, yes, that is how you acted. So there you go, Virgo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.